What if a war doesn't begin with a roar of missiles or the clash of ships, but with the quiet thunder of a transport aircraft opening its cargo bay? What if the real message isn't in the weapons fired, but in the ones America shows it can deliver anywhere, at any time? That's exactly the image the world saw when a massive U.S. Air Force C-17 Globemaster III opened its rear doors and dropped an AH-64 Apache helicopter onto a forward airstrip in the Caribbean. The rotors weren't spinning yet, the weapons weren't mounted yet, but within minutes crews swarmed the gunship, arming it with Hellfire missiles and 30mm cannon shells. Suddenly, a bare strip of concrete became a combat-ready launch pad, and the question everyone asked was simple: why now, and why here? Before we dive deeper, let's be clear. This is analysis, not advocacy. We're not glorifying war. We're exploring why the United States demonstrates capabilities like this and what message it sends to allies and rivals alike. Let's begin with the basics. Why airdrop an Apache at all? Usually, helicopters travel inside ships, transported slowly across oceans, or assembled at secure bases. But what happens if you don't have the luxury of time? What if a port is blocked, or an airfield threatened, or a forward unit suddenly cut off? In those moments, logistics must become as fast as combat. That's where the C-17 shines. The C-17 Globemaster III is America's flying workhorse. With a payload of 77 tons, it can carry tanks, artillery, troops, or, as in this case, a fully equipped attack helicopter. It doesn't need a massive runway. It can land on short, rough strips that would terrify most civilian pilots. It can refuel midair, extending its reach halfway around the globe. In short, it's not just transport, it's mobility as a weapon. If America can drop Apaches into a Caribbean airstrip overnight, what else could it bring there by morning? Now let's talk about the Apache itself. The AH-64 is no ordinary helicopter. It is often called a flying tank, but that nickname doesn't do it justice. With its tandem cockpit, night vision systems, radar-guided Hellfire missiles, Hydra rockets, and the infamous 30mm chain gun, the Apache is the helicopter you want overhead when the fight gets ugly. In Iraq and Afghanistan, it earned a reputation as the soldier's best friend and the enemy's worst nightmare. Imagine this in the Caribbean context. The Apache touches down on a hastily secured strip. Within minutes, it can be flying cover for Marines, destroying radar installations along the coast, or sweeping the skies for low-flying drones. It's versatile, lethal, and trusted. That's why the sight of one rolling out of a C-17 sends such a strong signal. Sure, Russia brags about exotic prototypes like the Ka-52 Alligator, but let us be honest. When was the last time Moscow showed it could fly one halfway across the world, drop it onto a strip of asphalt, and have it combat-ready in minutes? So what scenarios could the U.S. be preparing for in the Caribbean? First, base security. In a crisis, the U.S. might need to secure a temporary port or airfield in an unfriendly environment. Dropping in Apaches provides immediate close air support, making sure no enemy forces or militias get close. Second, coastal strikes. An Apache squadron could neutralize radar, missile batteries, or troop positions near the shore, clearing the way for Marines to land. In tight, jungle-heavy terrain, helicopters are far more useful than fast jets screaming overhead. Third, Marine support. If U.S. Marines establish a forward position, they'll need fast, flexible air cover. That's what the Apache provides: on-call, close-in firepower. In other words, the C-17 plus Apache combination is America's message. We can fight on your doorstep before you even wake up to the news. But is this only about Venezuela? Or is it also about Russia? Consider this. Venezuela has been tightening ties with Moscow for years. Russian advisors, Russian weapons, Russian oil deals. If Caracas calls for help, Would Moscow actually send it? Maybe. But how? Russia's heavy lift capacity is limited. Its An-124s are aging. Its logistics chains are stretched thin by the war in Ukraine. And unlike the C-17, Russia's fleet can't simply appear in the Caribbean overnight. So here is the uncomfortable question for Moscow. If America can drop Apaches in Caracas' backyard in hours, how long would it take Russia to get even a single Alligator helicopter across the Atlantic? Let's look at the broader strategy. The US isn't just testing hardware, it's testing doctrine. It is rehearsing what is called rapid global mobility, the ability to project combat power anywhere, without warning, with speed. It's not just about moving planes and tanks, it's about moving pressure, sending signals, shaping decisions before shots are even fired. For NATO, this demonstration is reassurance. Allies see that America isn't just committed in Europe or Asia, but can act in Latin America as well. For adversaries, it's deterrence. The message is blunt. Don't assume distance will protect you. Was this just a rehearsal, or the opening act of something bigger? And if it was only theater, why does it feel so convincing? Now, the payoff. The image of a C-17 dropping an Apache is more than logistics. It's a statement. It says America is prepared not just to threaten from afar, but to fight from up close. It says ports, roads, and supply lines don't matter, because America carries its own. And it says to rivals like Russia, even if you wanted to help your friends in the Caribbean, you probably couldn't keep up. Let's be real. Russia has some impressive toys. Hypersonic missiles, flashy air shows, boasts of invincible systems. But logistics, that boring, unglamorous side of war, has always been Moscow's Achilles heel. And in modern conflict, logistics isn't boring at all. It's decisive. America knows this. That's why it invests in aircraft like the C-17, that can deliver not just weapons, but entire wars in a single flight. So the question remains, was this about preparing for the worst, or about pressuring Venezuela and reminding Moscow that its reach has limits? Either way, the world got the message. Because when the C-17's cargo door opens, it's not just a helicopter rolling out. It's American strategy, made visible in steel and rotors. And now I'll leave the final question to you. Do you think this was just an exercise, or was it a warning shot without the bullet?